All right, Greasy gang or don't bang, you know who it is and what it is. It's your boy C Greasy, and I'm here with
Stephanie.
William, aka Venomus Cosplay.
That's right. So I'm bringing y'all some good footage right now with some famous cosplayers in the game. So what we want to know, first and foremost, get it going. What do you guys do in your free time in order to like relax, just chill?
The builds are actually what I do in my free time. I'm active duty military still, so I work and then I try to get out and build, and I will just lose myself in my shop for hours at a time. Okay. Other than that, just kind of chilling, watching TV and hanging out.
Mine's pretty much gardening and cooking. Can't talk today. But yeah, I'm pretty much well diverse and a little bit of everything I dabble with. Try to push him into whatever creations.
We are busybodies.
Very.
That's good. That's good. So y'all are introverted and extroverted or just extroverted?
A little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Yeah.
That's good. Gotta be diverse.
Oh,
That's the way I am too. I'm good inside, by myself, chilling, but I can also do the city life too.
Okay.
Be out and about with a lot of people.
Yep.
All right, so let's see. The comic world, if you had to choose between these two universes, Marvel or DC, which one and why?
Ooh. I've always been more prone to Marvel just because since I was a kid, I've always had an affinity for the symbiotes. So, and DC doesn't have symbiotes. So I'm going to have to go Marvel with that one.
That's right.
It's DC for me.
DC.
Marvel tends to be a little more PG, and DC isn't afraid to get their hands dirty. So
good. Not everybody likes to be first place. Over here on this channel, it's Marvel gang or don't bang. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? DC cool, you know what I'm saying? They got Superman.
The comics from Marvel they've gotten a lot darker, but as far as the movies go, yeah, DC is definitely more willing to take more risks than what Marvel's been here lately.
Right. And I would say what pushes me away from DC, it's the same reason on what pushes people to DC. The thing that pushes me away is the fact that, okay, from the beginning, it starts off dark.
Yep.
Even in Glory, it's dark. It's like, bro, you got to see the sunlight at some point, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
we ain't living
get
like
that.
that.
Okay. With everybody, just, I feel like DC is that push to be like, hey, it's okay to risk it for a biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're doing this dark, and it's okay. We're still thriving. We're still surviving.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we may show you our dark side, but that doesn't mean there isn't any light in there. You just don't see it yet. You looking at the wrong side of the cloud. You gotta find that silver lining.
Yeah.
Superman is always that light side. He's always the brighter side. It's when you get to the Bat mythos, then it's every victory has an underlying darker tone to it.
Yeah. Heroes, villains, everybody dark.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like Superman because you can put him in any universe, anime, comics, it don't matter. He's top 10, regardless of hero, villain. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
He's the most iconic superhero in history.
Yeah.
There's no superhero that is more iconic than Superman.
Facts. As much as people try to enlighten Batman and put him on such a pedestal, I mean, I agree with that. It is
Superman's the
Superman for
first.
sure.
Superman's always been the first. He was the first one made, so that's why. That's why he holds that crown. He's the first superhero to come about, so nothing's going to change that. Whether you love or hate the Big Blue Boy Scout, he's there. He's there to stay.
That's right. In terms of just animated shows, period, right? So you can let me know what's your favorite anime. Also, what's your favorite cartoon network? Is it Cartoon Network? Is it Nickelodeon or Disney? Which one?
So for me, as far as anime, I've always been a giant fan of as cliche as it is, I love the Dragon Ball series, but Gundam. I prefer the old school Gundam with the Xeon and the one you wore and all that. Those are definitely my tops. Cartoon Network, I'd have to say, is probably the better as far as cartoon stations, but I'm talking more Adult Swim,
Cartoon Network,
or old school, late '90s, early 2000s. Courage the Cowardly Dog, Johnny Bravo, Ed, Edd and Eddy. Nowadays, I just kind of...
We're 80s, 90s, so
Exactly.
we're kind of on the same page with that.
Yeah. I'm a 90s kid, I grew up in the 90s, so nothing's going to top the 90s Cartoon Network for me.
I'm Samurai X. Like that has always been, but I'm into the hacking and slashing and blood and gore, and I'm in the medical field, so that's right up my alley. Like, I get to see it in real life and on TV.
You okay going to CC's?
It works.
Awesome. I like it. So mine was Cartoon Network.
What was the name
for
of
sure.
the Chinese place you guys went
One of my favorite cartoons was Courage, Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, and then like you said.
Courage was actually based on a true story.
No way.
Yes,
That's why it was so creepy.
So there was a man and a woman that were out in the middle of nowhere.
We interrupt this program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Abandoned as a pup, he was found by Muriel, who lives in the middle of nowhere.
And their dog, they ended up passing, but their dog is the one that alerted the authorities, and they were found out there. So yeah, it's kind of based on a true story. It's got some roots.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's the 90s creepypasta.
Yeah.
That's like the start of it.
Yeah.
I like that. See? Knowledge I didn't know. Now I obtain. I'm gonna keep telling that story now to a whole bunch of people. All right, let's get to the meat of it.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So, how long have you been cosplaying? And what made you get into it? Also, what are the pros and cons of being a cosplayer?
So I've been cosplaying since 2011. One of the main reasons I got into it is I've always been kind of a dive in head first kind of guy, and I saw pictures of these Predator costumes. I've been a fanatic for the Alien Predator franchise for years. Ever since I was a little kid, I was like, man, I really want one of those. They're too expensive. And I saw people piecing them out, and I was like, let me read tutorials and I'll make my own Pred suit. So I tried, and the reaction I got was mind-blowing. So I just kind of rolled with it, and I've been going ever since, and I found the process, I just really love the creation process and bringing the character to life, especially when you say as far as like one of the pros, one of the best things for me is when you see these kids who get super excited. I do a lot of villains and creepier characters, but I still have these kids who just get so ecstatic to see these characters brought to life. They'll come up and give me a hug, and I had a kid give me a hug today actually in the Batman Who Laughs. Blew my mind, but this little girl was just as happy as could be and just gives me this big old hug. So
that's crazy.
And then a con, I mean, it gets expensive. It does get very expensive between supplies. If you're not guesting, paying for your hotels, wherever you're going for the natural or for the areas and all that. So it can be a very, very expensive hobby.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the only con.
For me, that's kind of been the only con. I haven't had the misfortune of a lot of internet trolls or anything like that, and I see that a lot sometimes in the community. Some people who they don't ideally fit the full figure of a character, or their variation for it is, and you know how it is. People on the internet warriors say, "Well, I don't like it, so I'm gonna try and bring them down," instead of going, "Oh, this is for me. Let me just keep on scrolling."
I think a lot of the reason you don't get that though is because you're a male. I would definitely say that on the female aspect of it, women cosplayers get critiqued so much harder than what males do. Because they draw, of course, women draw a lot of attention, and it's
Depending on the cosplay, for sure.
depending on the cosplay, and it's and unfortunately a lot of women, they just go into bashing each other instead of supporting each other, and it's awful. Like when guys get around each other like, oh man, you look freaking awesome, they're hyped up, and that's bro to bro. But when it's women, a lot of them see it as competition instead of being like, hey, look, you did an amazing job. I see that you put effort in that, and they just it's what people do now, and it's sad.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it can be very toxic for female cosplayers. I've seen that from female cosplayer friends that I know, or any female cosplayers I follow. I see some of their posts or the comments on there. They do get bashed, and they're like, "Oh, you're wearing this because you want it," or if you're wearing something, if you don't want someone to put their hands on you, you shouldn't wear costumes like that. So they're just trying to emulate a character, and it's not. Sorry, the character wears a costume like that.
Yeah, like Wonder Woman.
Exactly. So, and unfortunately, that there's some toxicity in the community when it comes to things like that, and a lot of it can be directed a lot more at females. The females can be more aggressive at each other, and then any of your males who are a little heavier set, but and it is hard to build a following as a male cosplayer.
Right, yeah.
It's very hard to get a good following as a male cosplayer compared to a female cosplayer.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, if you're going to pick a face to look at pictures of between mine or hers, she's going to win. She's a lot prettier than I am. I'm kind of ugly.
Yeah.
But I take you home every night.
Exactly.
So.
And I'm okay with that, though. And I'm all right with it. I am who I am.
Yeah, this is actually my first cosplay, this event. I have gone as his quote-unquote booth babe or handler and helped, PR, just kind of help repair and stuff like that as we go through. But so far, I think the biggest thing is, God, those things are so hot.
Yeah.
They're so hot.
Yep, I guess that is one of the negatives. I was dying today. I was sweating like crazy. And I wanted to hold out until about an hour before we left, and I was like, all right, I'm done. We're done. TKO.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all my questions, man. And I do love and I appreciate you guys for taking the time to give me this opportunity with you. A lot of your fan base, they're going to have a lot of good feedback on this because I'm sure they wanted to know these type of questions as well from you guys. So
Anytime.
Yeah,
you guys heard it here first. Greasy gang or don't bang.
appreciate it.